You are now listening to the Sae Bae Cast, the number one old school RuneScape podcast featuring guests from all across Galanor. To support this podcast, visit the Patreon link in the description.
All right, welcome to the Sae Bae Cast number 55 with Skiddler, or Elliot, as I'll call you. What up, Elliot?
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Man, I fucking hate a countdown, hey? You just sat there like 5, 4, 3. Kind of
Every single Sae Bae Cast alumni would just know because I do it every fucking time. I did the 5, 4, 3, 2, take a 2-second pause and go. So hopefully not too intimidating.
No, it's okay.
So I gotta say I'm pretty excited to get to talk. I've been watching your stream for I don't even know how long. I've unfollowed you at one point. I refollowed you at one point. And honestly, the past few months I've been watching you. I've actually been obsessed with your streams when I can catch them. It's been nice.
Oh, thank you. That's really, really nice. I appreciate that. It made me laugh the other day when you were in my chat talking about the podcast, and I said, how come you never fucking ask me? And you say, because I do not want you on my channel in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I was, I don't know why I even said that, to be honest. Like, I was out of it.
No. I was just like, he said it as a joke, but he fucking means that, and I know he does. But I'm not bothered by that, honestly. It's all good. God. I appreciate you asking me on that. I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
No, I actually was very happy that you showed some interest in it because I love getting bigger guests on. It's always just nice talking and seeing how they got to where they are. So
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I guess let's kind of go into it. So potentially some of my listeners don't know who you are. So if you could just go into who you are for a little bit. That'd be awesome.
Okay, yeah. I'm Elliot, obviously, as Mr. Bae has already said. I'm known as Skiddler on RuneScape. I've been playing RuneScape in just as a game for I was so used to telling people it was like 13 years. That was, I don't know. I feel like everyone goes through a stage where people go, "How long have you been playing RuneScape?" And you go, "This long," and then you don't realize how fucking old you've got. And now I'm having to sit here and go, okay, actually, no, it's nearly 18 years now.
Dear
God, I'm still playing the same fucking video game. I started streaming just around the start of 2015, I think. And starting streaming was just something that... So I'd never, ever even heard of Twitch. I used to watch YouTube a lot. Sorry, pardon me in advance. Oh God, sorry. That Pepsi was sitting bad. Apologies. I used to watch RuneShark. I was absolutely obsessed with RuneShark back in the day.
Oh yeah.
It was like to the point where I didn't have any sort of social media at all. I was very late to any sort of social media. So I had no information about when they uploaded, other than if they told their audience they were going to be uploading on a certain day on previous videos. So I was one of those freaks that would sit there fucking refreshing my YouTube subscription box. And I would be like genuinely ecstatic when a RuneShark video came on. But like I said, I'd not heard of Twitch at all. I found Adam Boaty through them. When they had him on they did a 24-hour Slayer stream where they had various guests come on throughout, and Adam was one of those guests, and I found out about him through them, and then he was the first ever person that I watched on Twitch, and then I remember he was talking about another streamer. So in my mind, Twitch was like, in my like stupid naive mind, Twitch was this tiny live stream platform that at first I was hesitant to even go to, because it was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be live streaming, guys. Check the description and click that link. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck is Twitch? So I clicked it anyway one time, and then he was talking about another streamer called Tom, referring obviously to AOA Tube.
Yeah.
And he never said his actual Twitch name. He just referred to him as Tom. So after watching a fair amount of Adam, he said his Twitch name and said he was back on Twitch. And I watched his stream one time, and this, like, no, no obviously offense to Adam intended in any way, but watching Tom and Adam is kind of different, isn't it? Like when you're watching Tom, it's more of like I don't know if you've watched much of Tom, but when you're watching Tom, it feels more like you're watching just like your average bloke kind of playing a game and talking.
Okay.
Whereas watching Adam can be pretty intense sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, he's playing this video game, just doing X, Y, and Z and making it entertaining without really putting in any effort to entertain. He's just an entertaining guy. This looks like fun. So then Tom sort of inspired me to one time just go live for a laugh, and we ended up becoming pretty good friends through like some of the people that watch him found me, and then we became friends through that. And then
Wow.
Sorry, I feel like I just haven't stopped talking for like 5 minutes.
No, you're good. I've been fucking loving this. It's cool to hear origin stories of people.
Yeah, so that's you're like, yeah, tell me your name, and I'm like, yeah. So here's my fucking life story, mate.
No, the life stories go on way longer generally. Like,
Yeah.
I've had guests on that talk for an hour and a half about like how they came to old school. So you're totally good.
Yeah.
So Twitch, yeah, I mean, I think I joined Twitch in 2015, like late 2015, and I had no clue what it was. I was kind of a boomer at that point. I had no idea what it was. And
yeah.
that's when I started playing old school as well. So I started playing old school and watching Twitch at the same time.
Had you played RuneScape prior to old school coming out, or was old school your first taste?
So I had played in 2004 to 2007, and then I quit for 8 years. I never thought about the game. Went to play Guitar Hero and other random games, Call of Duty with my high school friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until I was doing summer sales in Las Vegas where my roommate was like, have you played old school? And I'm like, oh, that shitty game that they ruined? Oh, no, I haven't played that. So
yeah,
no, but
I remember
that's when I started.
When old school came out, I wasn't going to play because I was super addicted to RuneScape. But I wasn't very good. I remember I just got like 99 prayer, and I was just on my way to getting overloads. But as somebody that's not very good at the game, making that much money pretty much was me slaving frost dragons for hours and hours. So the idea of starting from scratch, but when you're 11 years old, when you start playing the game, everything takes an infinite amount of time longer than it does when like nowadays everyone's so skilled, not only in terms of knowledge of the game but in terms of mechanics. It's so much easier to start an account and be in a position where you're like, holy shit, we're already here. That was quick. But if you looked at an account that was like 1,500 total when you were 11 years old, it seems almost unreachable. Yeah. Like 70s, like Black D hide and shit. I was like, okay. So yeah, the idea of starting again when I was already, at this level of the game with like my chaotic weapons and turmoil and stuff like that, I was like, this has taken me so many years of my life. I can't even fathom being at square one, like level 3, walking off Tutorial Island sounds like the worst fucking thing in the world. But my little brother actually convinced me to play, and here's another fucking tangent for you. I was in RD Square. I just started picking up Silk, and it was back when random events were still aggressive, and a bot was getting bolted by Rick Turpentine.
Did they really? So I didn't play when they were aggressive. Did they really start fucking bolting you down?
Yeah. Rick
Jesus
Turpentine.
Christ.
If you didn't speak to him, he just pull the crossy out and start slinging bolts. And this bot was obviously broken. And it was like, we're 2 days into old school, so like GP is real valuable.
Yeah.
And I've seen this bot. He's died. I'm the only one near him. Picked up 56k, bang. And
Damn.
then at that point, I didn't want to stop playing. Played for just under a year. And then similar to you, I had 10 mil cash. I had like a few barrow sets, stuff like that. And it was just before God Wars was released into the game that I quit as well. And I quit for about a year. And then I came back and I logged in and I went, holy shit, I don't remember having this much stuff. I had like full barrow sets, 10 mil cash. And then I went and I joined a clan and started going to God Wars. And from that point, I have not stopped playing.
Nice. So what were you streaming initially? Were you just streaming your main account, just fucking around?
I was just streaming my main account. It was primarily a combination of like God Wars and Slayer. That was, God Wars, Slayer, and Clues, the old school trio back in the day.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much what I started with, and then obviously more and more content's released, and Ironman was something that I never thought I would get into. When Ironman came out, I was like, the fucking worst thing in the world would be not being able to trade people. God, it would be so long. Pardon me again, Jesus, apologies for my flatulence. And now here we are. I don't know how many Ironmen I've made. I've had like, I've done like 99 Slayer on like 2 accounts. I've had another 3 accounts in a year that I've done the 1 to 87 Slayer grind on.
Jesus.
Fucking hell, man. That grind sucks, by the way. That is no longer fun to me. I feel like at the moment as well, with RuneScape, I'm in a position in the first time in this many years where I've actually started to feel like I'm burning from the game. And I feel it's that early game grinds, like doing them over and over again. So much content came out. I soloed like 1,500 raids on my Iron before I got a T-bow. Still don't have a Kodai. Still don't have Ancestral Pants. Still don't have an Elder Maul.
God.
And then I made the hardcore. Got to Song of the Elves. Finished it. Did Corrupted Gauntlet. I was doing the tier 3 method, which, I Corrupted Gauntlet's pretty easy doing the tier 1 method, but I thought, what's the point in risking an account that I've got like 30 odd days playing time on? One misclick, I'm doomed. So I did the tier 3 method, which is so taxing. Have you done it?
No. Oh, I've done it once, and it was fucking awful. I was like,
yeah, it is.
Like, I saw Roydy literally do 900 of those, and I'm like, you are actually a sociopath for doing that.
Yeah. It's just... It's not fun, click intensive. It's like it's just stressful,
and it's RNG. So like sometimes you can actually just get fucked over, even though you're doing it perfectly.
Yeah, I know. I acknowledge the fact that I just started, so I was sort of like just under 10 KC. My tier 3 runs were getting better, but my stats weren't the best. So I practiced on my normal Ironman, which is like max combat or whatever. And I got them down pretty well actually. I was sort of. After I practiced for about 12 hours and got to sort of like 80% success rate on the tier 3 runs. And then I started on the hardcore Ironman where my stats were nothing in comparison and found that I was sort of completing 1 in every 10 attempts. So it was pretty shit. But I ended up getting about 7 or 8 KC. And then it was just like a 15-second world lag spike on the same tick that Hunlef released the tornadoes. I watched myself die, and then about 3 seconds after I spawned out with a grey helmet, I could move freely again. Like there was no problem at all.
I remember that clip. In fact, wait, where did I just watch that? Did I just watch that on Twitter, or was that on a Behemoth highlight or some shit? Was that on like the year Behemoth thing? Where did I just watch that? It might have been,
yeah.
Yeah, no, that was just so upsetting. Like you just watch yourself just die.
It sucks. And I was like, you know what? Group Ironman comes out in 2 days. It's fine. And then I found myself starting to get. So I'd obviously done the unofficial GIMP with the Aussies and the Kiwi Ron, which was super super fun. And I was like, when this comes out again, this is going to be great. But I think like a lot of us, bar Ron, who didn't really put any effort in the first time round, everyone else is kind of like, man, we've created these accounts too many times, and we're just sort of taking it at a really slow pace.
Yeah. What do you think about Group Ironman in general, being an actual game mode now? Because I feel like you guys were the pioneers of it. Did anybody make an unofficial Group Ironman before you guys did?
I'm not too sure. I don't want to say no in case someone has, and then everyone goes, "You fucking arrogant piece of shit."
Well, you're the first person
But,
I ever saw doing it with Perp and
but
Ron.
yeah, yeah. So I'm not too sure. I don't know. I think if anyone else has done one, an unofficial one, I think we probably got further just based on the fact that I don't know anyone else that did. But we were putting in criminal hours and having so much fun with it. And then it sort of I remember that was another that was the 87 Slayer grind again, and I did that, and then I grinded all the boys whips and tridents whilst they were away. And then I woke up to a Twitter DM like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore.
Jesus Christ.
Ron was like, I don't want to fucking do this. Jake's like, oh, I can't really find the time to put any YouTube content out. Fuck it. So I was like, yeah, fair enough. It's cool. You know, I'm not bothered about that. That's fine. So, but I was super looking forward to the official version coming out. But I'm just, because I've literally just got to the point I wanted on my previous account to start again. I feel like a bit of a remake, and it's not been good for the motivation of the game. But once I slowly crawl my way up to Hunlith again, I'm sure I'll be cruising through.
Yeah. So what do you like most in the game? Do you like late game stuff, or do you think you would like late game stuff more? Clearly, you just despise early game at this point.
Yeah, at this point, I do despise early game. I like, well, my favorite sort of facet of the game is probably PvP. So I tribrid a lot. Like, that's what I did all the time. When I first started streaming, I was doing Slayer and stuff, and then I learned how to PK and Venge PK, and then DH, and then I moved on to hybrid, and then eventually tribriding, and just put in a criminal amount of hours into learning how to tribrid over a pretty short period of time. Now, I was designated, like, even on a group Ironman and stuff like that, using LMS as a means to make money. I was like, the boys all know that I'm addicted to PKing, kind of. So they were just like, you can make all our money through LMS. So
Yeah.
how many hours have I got on this account? I'm like 18 days, and I think I'm 18 days. I'm like 1428 total, but I've got just hundreds and hundreds of LMS like wins. It's stupid.
Yeah, it's pretty unreal how that's actually the meta. I feel like the two new metas for Ironman are just LMS and then get to Corrupted Gauntlet as soon as possible. Like that's all it is. Really.
And I thought I was like, oh yeah, you know, I'm laughing my way to the bank here because I'm getting to do all this LMS and you know, I'm having as much fun as I can playing the game, but you know, I'm going to be feeding everyone all the money, and they're going to be feeding me the stuff to get my stats up. And lo and behold, John, the stupid cunt, hasn't fished a single Karambwam. My group storage is abysmal.
Wait, but EVscape's asking you right here to put arrows in the group storage. You're saying it's empty right now, or what?
Look. He's joking. Okay, I have given tens of thousands of rune arrows and received 0 Karambwams back. Look at the group storage right now. A single crossbow string, 4 watering cans. Like, fuck off. What is this? Sorry, this podcast is gonna go out and the boys are gonna be sat there like, yeah, hold up.
Jesus Christ.
No, I'm joking. I'm only joking to, you know, some extent. But like yeah. Sorry, going back to what I like most in the game. I feel like every time you ask me a question, I go on a 10-minute tangent. I apologize. I can see how these podcasts end up being well over 2 hours.
Gentle Tractors was almost 5. It was insane. It was just nonstop talking. It was yeah. But that's what's beautiful about the Sae Bae cast. Go on these rambles. Go for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of shit when you just get cut off your answer.
Yeah, you got 1 minute to answer something. You're like, okay.
Yeah. No, so yeah, obviously PK has always been a big part of RuneScape for me. It's like it's a facet of RuneScape for me that I genuinely do love, and I think I love it because it's so vastly different to any other kind of MMOs that you can play. The mechanics of dying in the wilderness specifically, like how punishing that is on death and risking everything that you're wearing and what's in your invent is is such a unique thing in the world of MMOs, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons that RuneScape stands apart in terms of its PvP aspect. But it is, yeah, it's a shame to see PvP not being as popular as it once was. Obviously, in terms of viewership, people love watching PvP. You know,
Yeah.
obviously, most of the big YouTubers on RuneScape are PvP orientated, like Sylvester, Frames, the Engineer, so on, so on. But it just doesn't seem to be something that people enjoy so much getting into, and I think that what there's so many reasons for it. I don't want this to turn into a fixed PvP podcast or anything like that, but I think just to go back to what we were talking about earlier when I was saying how hard it was to play the game and make money and progress when you're 11 years old. It's, you know, everyone's so newbie. They're not in the know. No one's perfected the game mechanically or in terms of what's the best and metas, etc., etc. But now everybody is at such an incredibly high skill level that it just makes it almost not impossible, because obviously you have things like LMS which help a lot of people get into PK and risk-free, which is, I think, a really, really good way to get into it. So if there is anyone watching this that goes, I really want to learn how to tribrid, it seems like fun, get into LMS. It's you don't have to pay anything.
LMS
you
single-handedly taught me everything I know about tribriding and just PKing in general, honestly. I feel like I can hold my own in almost any situation now purely because of LMS.
Yeah, so it's just I just think it's a force for good, regardless of any controversy around it. But the skill ceiling obviously is so high now. So I think that's one of the reasons that it's, or a perceived reason why people think that they can't get into PvP at this point. Or I may be totally wrong, and there's just no interest in it because who the fuck wants to do that anymore? It's not the best money maker, so on, so on, so on. I don't know. But other than PvP, solo in raids is just something that I really enjoy. I totally enjoy solo in raids. I've done it for so long. Going for speed runs and stuff. I just found it really, really fun. Like speed running solo raids, getting like VTVs, MTGs, stuff like that.
Yeah. I fucking miss those days. It's been years since I was just camping solos all the time.
Well, that's the thing. It was almost my entire content when I was playing my main Ironman because I just got no fucking drops.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking rough. 1,500 of them.
And one of the worst parts is, so it took me so long. I mean, I would get drops, but they were never. It took me 1,500 raids to get my first mega rare.
Yeah, that's absurd.
Yeah, but I had a hell of a lot of Din's bulwarks, mate. I had a lot of those.
My nightmare grind when I was going for a mace took me like 9 months straight to get my mace, and I had 10 fucking nightmare staves. I was just I just couldn't stop getting them. It was so fucking annoying.
Yeah, was that prior to the Fasani release?
Yeah, so I did 9 months straight. And this was like alongside Lake. Lake was also going for a mace, and we were both just hard camping it every fucking day. And then the day the announcement came out that Fasani's was going to be released, Lake got his mace, but I couldn't go back to Nightmare because it was fucking pointless to go back when there's a brand new method that's going to be faster to do it in like 2 months.
Yeah.
So day of release, I got my mace of Fasani's. Like the day of Fasani's release, I got mine, so... It was interesting. It was interesting though because like Lake got his 2 months before me, but if he had just not grinded that day, like we would have gotten ours the same day in kind of a way.
Yeah.
So
that's again, like you're talking about this sort of late game content and stuff, and my iron was, like I said, 1,500 without a mega rare, so I didn't really want to leave solo raids. I was enjoying them. I was enjoying, you know, flicking between solo in raids on the regular iron, slowly but surely training up my hardcore to get to Corrupted Gauntlet, and then doing a lot of sort of tribrid staking on my main. So I was sort of cycling between these 3 accounts and engaging in all the content that I enjoyed whilst leaving the hardcore on the back burner because it was just easily AFKable at that stage, like Ammonite crabs, etc. But I found that with the account creation, obviously, I turned my focus solely to the hardcore up until its demise, and then Deadman mode, and now Group Ironman has been my sole content or my sole focus on the game. But I feel like there's so much end game content getting released that I like never got to do because I was always just trying to get a fucking mega rare raid. Like I was like, I've done a few Nightmare, but I don't want to grind out Vasani. I just got the Tebow, and then this account started, and I'm going to focus on this. And I'm worried that Raids 3 is going to come out, and I'm going to be on this Group Ironman, like 970 Hunlef deep.
Yeah. See, I'm in a very optimal position where I only play one account.
Yeah,
fact, those early
kind of regret
game
not
grinds.
doing that.
Yeah, the early game grinds, like, it's cool for content. Like, I can totally understand why content creators remake and like start these new accounts. It's fucking exciting. It's like a new series or something.
Yeah, and I get it, like for a few times, but I do not have the kind of willpower that some people have, or not even necessarily the willpower, but just the sheer desire to go, okay, I've just spent 35 days playtime on that account. Let's log off, never log on again, and we're back at the rooftop.
It's so fucked.
Fuck that. Okay, the speed these motherfuckers are getting to Corrupted Gauntlet. Like, bro, I'm like, nah, I'm playing 14 games of LMS.
Dude, you gotta wonder how many hours these streamers are putting in off stream to get to that point. I swear, I see Mutts, I see Alfie, I see Roydy, even just like these, like especially Alfie. Jesus Christ, that dude just What the fuck? Like he just flies through an account. He's like 2,100 total on his gim. Like what is happening?
Like how the fuck's that even possible?
Yeah,
like I finished a 7-hour live stream. I got to walk my dogs and cook dinner.
I do not understand how people go so fast on these new accounts. It's insane because back when I first played this account, it seemed like a fucking lifetime to get to Cerberus and stuff like that. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
You get there so quick.
That being said, I mean, I'm saying all this and saying I don't know. We're saying how I don't know how people are doing this so fast. We're sat here having a conversation now. I've got a login time of 39 minutes, and I'm still at the GE. You know, I can't even use the GE. I'm on a fucking Ironman.
Oh my god. You know the best form of Ironman are those that you see that's just camped at the GE. They're wearing like their little flags, like their newly acquired Barrows items, and you'll see them like just standing at the GE, like flexing their Ironman helm and everything.
Yeah, naked man with a bofa. Hello.
Oh my god. What do you think about the meta being... I feel like there's always kind of been a meta in RuneScape Ironman, and that meta seems to almost get like more... what's the word for it? Just like almost more strict. Like there is just a strict path that you take to be efficient, and that is get to Corrupted Gauntlet as fast as possible, and then... Yeah, that's like pretty much honestly it. Just get to Corrupted Gauntlet.
I think... sort of at first sight, for somebody who has made a few accounts, it seems like it's going to be really good because you go, okay, I'm going to create this new account. You know, we've been here before, but this time there is just an absolute way of doing it if I want to get to this stage, right? So it feels like you're on this easy linear path where you just jump on the conveyor belt and you punch through all your obligations and then you get there. But having done it a few times now, I feel like it doesn't allow for any sort of deviation at the same time. I mean, it does allow for deviation, but you feel like you're wasting time if you do.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just more of a symptom of people having a really unhealthy relationship with the video game.
Probably. I mean, you got to wonder. But
yeah.
See, I didn't ever play with Osiris's guide or anything, so...
No, I didn't. I used Alfie's guide when I made my hardcore, up until Barrow's Gloves, I think, and then I just did whatever I wanted, and then it was like...
Wait, Alfie has a guide?
He did. I don't know. It was
I thought you were trolling at first. He actually has a legitimate guide.
yeah, it's like just a paste bin guide that
Damn.
I would
Okay. I did not
yeah.
fucking know that. Is it different than Osiris's?
I don't know. I haven't seen Osiris's. Alfie's one was funny though, because he'd obviously just like, you know, when people just think out loud.
Yeah.
He would do that, but just type the shit. Instead of it being like just strict bullet points, they would be like a bracket with like 200 words in it. I'm like, why the fuck is that there? Like, he's just thinking out loud on the keyboard. He just got too excited about this.
Oh my god. I like Alfie's passion for the game. He's definitely
Oh yeah.
he definitely deserves everything he's got. He fucking takes the game very seriously. I think it's cool.
Oh yeah, he does, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Let's before we finish the entire cast without any Twitter topics, I want to ask a little bit about, well, this guy wants us to talk about this. So Tom on Twitter, he says thoughts on the state of OSRS, the direction of the game, and then he lists 3 bullet points: removal of duel arena, lack of PvP updates, and removal of seasonal deadman events and account security. Jagex support. Lol.
Okay, shall we start with the obvious one? Account security.
Go. Yeah.
Dog shit. Absolutely dog shit. And anyone that says it isn't dog shit is either a fucking idiot or a liar. Okay? The account security on RuneScape is dog shit. Being in a position whereby your route of access to somebody who can help you is either going semi-viral on Reddit, tweeting and hoping that they see and or read it, or asking a content creator who has access to JMod's phone numbers to help them is a ridiculous system.
It's so bad. It is so fucking bad.
It's awful, man. There needs to be a proper system put in place that allows people to contact certain members of staff and it's a big middle finger as well, because it was in 2019, I believe August or September of 2019, that they wrote a really, really promising blog regarding account security, and Bullet pointed off quite a few measures that would have been really nice to see in the game. And then, well, it's 2022 and they've not followed up on it. But I think in one of the more recent, it's the Gillinor Gazettes, they did touch on that. So hopefully, in the next few months, something's going to happen. But
yeah, it's hard
to keep your hopes up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have been banned before I was a content creator, and it did feel completely hopeless. It just felt like nobody gave a fuck, and I was just doomed.
One of the worst parts is if you're banned, people, and you write a post, people are under the impression that Jagex's bot detection system is totally infallible and that there's no room for human error on manual bans as well. Yeah. In my experience,
it does feel that way. Yeah.
I get a lot of people that message and they're like, yo, Elliot, man, I've been, macro majored. I'm permanently banned for this. I've never fucking botted on the account. Can you please help? Rah, rah, rah. And I'll message somebody and they're like, yep, not really too sure whether they're banned, unbanned. Like, that shit happens all the time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, in the past, week, I had 3 people DM me that their accounts were suspended. And then all 3 of them got their account unsuspended. Like, what the fuck? Like, really? None of these people did anything wrong and you're just banning them? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I know. It's mad. I did you see the recent Oda Block tournament for the Hardcore Ironman for $7,500, and Solo Mission got false banned and lost 5 hours of playtime?
Oh my god! Yeah, I missed that. I briefly watched actually his video on it. I must not.
Yeah, I watched Solo's video on that as well. Yeah.
Wow.
That's fucked, isn't it? 5 hours of and Goody Ronan, his videos a lot. His content revolves around having a myriad of fucking accounts that are all going and training at the same time and doing corporeal beast bombs and shit like that.
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah, so he gets his accounts banned all the time when he's training them up and has to get them unbanned. But
yeah, he probably gets it done a little bit easier. He was a JMod, so
yeah, for sure. Yeah, He did. I think it was a skit in one of his videos where he phones up Chris Archie. He's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I just there are just such easy measures to implement to fix like at least a little bit of account security. That's just like the cap, just having caps in your password. Like, why isn't that a thing yet? Like, that's so
Yeah.
easy to implement, I feel like. Although
Oh,
that isn't the
definitely.
root
Yeah.
of anything, but that'll start something at least, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at least it shows that there's an interest for improvement at the
Yeah.
very least. But
Yeah.
the recovery system's the worst part because you can. And I don't know if it has changed. I'm under the impression that it absolutely has not. But I'm pretty sure that you can submit an infinite amount of recovery requests for any account.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. So there's no like, oh, you've done 5, like fuck off. Like
Yeah.
there's no like, oh, you typed in your PIN on your phone wrong, like we're blocking you out. Like please contact this number.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I just submit 150 recovery requests and hope I hit the nail on the head on one of them.
Jesus. Yeah, it's
I remember
bad.
getting recovered once. It was actually on my first ever Ironman. I got recovered just as I was about to go in and kill the Cullineromancer. And
So your dude just got logged out like instantly or what?
I got kicked off. I was in the middle of a 24-hour stream. I was 16 hours in. I got DDoSed.
Oh my
right?
God.
Somebody DDoSed me. Well, it was someone that, years and years ago. And then, I restarted the net, turned back on, and I couldn't log in. And I'm like, shit. And it was just bizarre. Like the information that he put in the recovery request, because I know the guy, and it was just like ISP, which obviously it's pretty easy to guess somebody's ISP. If they don't already know it, like absolutely, it's still pretty easy to guess because there's only a few major ones. There's like ISP account creation date. Well, that's easy because I created the fucking account on stream. And just like a few other things, he didn't even have like a previous password or anything like that. It was just like the most bare bones recovery request, and they just
Jeez.
submitted it manually submitted it because the JMod. I don't know if he works there anymore, but a couple years later, I met him and we actually were like, he's a pretty sound guy. Like I'd consider him a friend. He actually just like one time in a bar apologized to me. He's like, I'm really sorry about that.
That's fucking
I was
unbelievable, though. That
I know,
it's
I
such
was
bare
like, wow.
information you can do that.
Yeah. He was like, I'm so sorry. Don't worry about it, Beast.
Jesus.
But no, account security, dog shit. That needs to be looked at. I feel like account security is one of those things as well where there are specific windows that we go throughout the year where there's just big uproar, right? That everyone's tweeting, everyone's making posts, and then there's like something said, or we'll get to it, but it never does. So hopefully this year will be the change, and there'll be something that happens. But
I think the J mods are definitely improving, and this isn't really the J mods problem either. It's a lot more with the company wide thing, but I think they're all becoming a lot more competent. I just feel like everything's coming into place. This could be the year, could.
See. Yeah, like it's easy to place blame on specific individuals or specific teams, but obviously you have no idea as an outsider what happens like from a top-down level. You might have a burning desire to implement all these security measures, but every time you take it to a meeting, they go, "No, well, we don't really need that yet."
Yeah.
So you never know.
What do you think about the removal of the duel arena? That was a very surprising thing that happened. I honestly thought the duel arena was going to be in the game forever.
I did as well. I did. There's been a lot of people sort of speaking out about it more so over the last year, I've noticed, but I didn't think it would have had such a profound effect that the company would have removed it. I think that the removal of the duel arena is an inherently good thing. I think that other than like friendly duels and doing things like tribrid stakes and stuff, which is content, like I said previously, that I really enjoy. But I'm glad to see that it is going. I know that's obviously fairly controversial, but I think that the doors that open, that allow or already exist in open doors that perpetuate people who already have gambling addictions, it's just horrible. It's a fucking it's not nice. It's hearing like horror stories of people fucking losing their house and their families and stuff, and people will argue that it's banning the jewelry, or not banning the jewelry, removing the jewel arena doesn't fix the problem. It's a sticky tape solution. If somebody has a desire to gamble, they'll find their fix elsewhere. That might be to some extent true, but I feel like having the jewel arena there,
it's very convenient.
Exactly, yeah. It's a prevalent piece of content that's heavily streamed and promoted. Like I do it as well. Obviously, I've done it loads, but it becomes so easily accessible where you might have this handful of people that, regardless of what content you have in the game, they're gonna find a way to gamble in RuneScape and potentially harm themselves in a financial respect. But you probably massively limit those numbers by not having it so easily accessible with the jewel arena in play, right?
Yeah. I just thought they would never remove it because it was so profitable for them as a company. Like,
yeah,
that's gotta just be.
I was under. Yeah, I was under the exact same impression. I didn't think that they would remove it, but fair play. And it takes kind of some guts to do that as well, because that kind of thing it's just controversial, isn't it? So you never know what kind of backlash you're going to get and that's not just as a company, but as individuals that work, because I don't want to be this guy that's sucking off all the fucking J mods, but I tell you what, I would not want to work for Jagex and be under the spotlight of thousands of players on social media. And
thousands of RuneScape players. Keep that in mind. RuneScape players.
And oh man, I don't know. It's fucking weird, man. Some of the that would not be for me. That would not be for me.
Yeah, like it sounds cool to be a JMod. Like it sounds cool in like this fantasy world to be a JMod and get to like implement things that you like in the game.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't even be that way in reality. You'd be like working on projects you probably don't even want to work on. And then you just get flamed on Twitter for everything. Like God.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. It's not something that I would want to do at all.
I actually find it extremely impressive that some JMods do have just such an amazing standing in the community. Like I see Mod Arcane and Mod Husky. Like Mod Husky even had a moment in time where he was just getting railed on Twitter, and he comes back from it. Like, dude, that would be enough to make like another person just fucking quit. Honestly, like the amount of shit he went through on Twitter.
100%, yeah, 100%. There's so many. Mod Arcane, has he been through that as well, or?
I don't think so. I think everything he's done has just been fantastic, and there's not really been much controversy. Like, of course, there's some things he thinks would be good for the game, and then he instantly kind of retracts. If he like,
I remember the first time it happened with Husky. It was something to do with. So I remember it was regarding PvP updates, and there was so much talk of we're bringing in X amount of content creators and X amount of people that are prolific figures in the PK community, that we're going to take them to Jagex, and we're going to have all these sort of brainstorm meetings where we can get everyone's ideas, put them forward to the community, get feedback, and then hopefully implement them. And then you had so many people in the community as well that were putting together just these huge fucking paste bins of ideas, essentially. I know that Ian, Pure Spam, and Manked Up Mage were two people that did a lot of that. And then that would be sent to Jagex, and then nothing would happen regarding any of the ideas. Even when they flew all those people out, none of those changes got made. So when and then you'd get the people that were involved in that going, where the fuck are the updates? And then the JMods, I remember it was Husky responding something like, I think it was like, instead of whinging at us, why don't you just give us some ideas?
Yeah,
And it
on
was
the
like,
Q&A you're talking about.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of like the last straw for a lot of people, like because it was like how fucking dare you? I've
Yeah.
I've spent so many hours compiling all these ideas just to receive no response back essentially, and then when I'm asking again where the hell are the ideas or the updates, I'm being told to give them the already existing ideas that I'd given. But
Yeah.
I understand, like I kind of was like, what the fuck when he said that, but it is what it is. People say shit, people make mistakes, and who fucking cares at the end of the day? I'm sure he didn't mean any malice behind it. And
Oh yeah,
um,
no, it's just so much stress behind it as well. And
yeah,
like you got to think, it's not just like okay, just cater toward these two PKers, but there's so much diversity in the PK community of like what people want that
yeah.
you can't even ever make a perfect PvP update because then some people will
No, you
bitch about
can't.
it. So
Yeah, and it's not even just the PvP facet of the game that will bitch. It's other parts of the game
oh
as
yeah,
well. Because if
everybody will.
yeah,
Right.
it's just I don't know. Fucking PvP, man.
The
Right,
other
let's change.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're going to be talking about PvP right now because they're saying lack of PvP updates. Apparently, this upcoming year, there will be a lot of wilderness changes. I think wilderness bosses are going to be changed. Who knows if that's actually I think it's a PvP update because that just brings in more people into the wilderness.
Oh yeah, definitely. Anything like that would count as a PvP update. Yeah,
I
and
think this
just
year will be pretty packed with that kind of stuff.
yeah, I've seen. I know Ben Aiza. He's pretty passionate about that side of the game, and he brings a lot of really fucking cool ideas to the table. So
Yeah.
hopefully some of those can come into fruition this year, which will be sick.
Yeah, I'm actually planning on getting him on soon. I'm gonna talk to him. So
Yeah, Ben's a good guy.
He's fucking fantastic. He's a fantastic
Yeah.
JMod. Just a good guy.
I remember meeting him for a pint once before he was a JMod.
Really?
Yeah, he was in the same town as me for a work thing. I don't know if he was going out to see a client or something, and he messaged me saying, "Want to go for a beer?" And I was like, "Yeah." We
Wait,
ended
you
up
knew
over
him before he was a JMod? Is that what you're saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh shit, from
And
RuneScape, or from
yeah,
what?
yeah,
Okay.
from my stream.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I remember he was like, "Oh, I should be back at work," and then he phoned them up and was like, "Yeah, I'm stuck in real heavy traffic."
Oh god. Yeah,
I
he's
like
awesome.
Ben.
He just like there's like some characters. I mean, not characters per se, but like there's these J mods that when they're on the team, it just feels like everything's going better. And I use is
Yeah,
definitely one of those guys. It just feels
I
like the team's together.
100% agree. I 100% agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So you say you are a dead man mode player enthusiast potentially. What do you think about the
Um.
removal of dead man events and what
So
the shit show that happened earlier?
yeah. As somebody that has enjoyed Deadman mode a lot, previously casted Deadman mode, competed in a lot of Deadman modes. This is going to be mega controversial. I might get a lot of people to hate me, but I actually just think that Deadman mode's seen its day.
Wow.
Like I remember um, the last Deadman mode that was played. Obviously, me and countless other people invested so much time into it. I remember being in like full Armadillo, Ancestral,
Oh my god.
VLS, everything, and I remember getting to round 3 in the 1v1s, and then just not being able to fucking move. Just couldn't move.
It's fucking so bad.
And I just feel like almost every single time there's a tournament, there's something that goes wrong, and it's
Yeah.
just hard to implement the right changes to fix all of the problems or potential problems. And I don't know, man. It's the same thing every single time. They'll do the Deadman mode. Everyone will go, oh, "Okay, you've made some changes." Or
Yeah.
this time there were some pretty significant changes. They
Oh, yeah.
implemented the relic system, which I thought was cool. I liked that because I really enjoyed Trailblazer. I just feel like, again, going back to what I was saying before, that PvP as a facet of RuneScape is just nowhere near as popular as a player, not a viewer, but as a player, than it once was. And that is reflected so clearly in Deadman mode. And it's like, every single time there's a deadman mode, regardless of the changes made, everyone's playing on the first day, right? It's hard to get into a world that's not got like 1,000+ players on it. That rat race to get to, the Dragon Scimitar, the Defenders, Barrage, etc., is just like non-stop.
Yep.
So many people are up all night. And then everyone goes, but day 3, where the fuck is everyone? Right? And I don't know. Even when they've made dying a lot less punishing, I just feel like the setbacks that your average player is going to receive, because it goes against the grain of what RuneScape is kind of built on, which is just a slow, steady progression.
Yeah.
It's just unattractive. For your average casual player, it's just unattractive. And if it's unattractive for your average casual player, then it's really hard to see as a company what the point is.
Yeah, that's a good fucking point. In fact, now I'm just trying to relate it, because any sort of PvP based thing is generally like a shooter game, and you're back in the action with no equipment loss or anything, like instantaneously after dying. Whereas here it's like, all right, go fucking regrind for 5 days.
And it's not like an eco round on CS where you might have to eco or double eco and then you can full buy.
Yeah.
It's like 7 hours.
Yeah.
But that being said, I love Deadman mode. I think the idea of Deadman mode is fantastic. I think that when it was initially pitched, it was like a phantasmic idea, like this cool sort of whimsical, oh, someone's at my mining spot, let me fucking kill them. It's like this fun kind of the cutthroat game mode that over the years has just been filled with every kind of controversy imaginable in the game. Whether it's on just like a standard player versus player level, or whether it's DDoSing or server issues, or thousands of players investing hundreds of hours in a real short time period just to be fucked over by something that may or may not be unavoidable in the end. And it's just, I don't think that. And I want to go back as well, because I said as a company it's hard to see what's the point, but obviously there's going to be an inflated amount of membership that comes every time there is a Deadman mode. But without having access to sort of like statistics and analytics of the game, obviously it's hard to say whether or not it's a viable thing to do. And I know it's not always about like, there's the membership. I just think, is it worth it? Because even the players that are super passionate about it never really have that good of a time. I think, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, including myself, we all look at Deadman mode through rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah. No, totally. I could see that.
And then it comes around and everyone's expecting this. Everyone's expecting this fantastic, perfect, lovely PvP game mode where everyone's having fun. And I'm going to stay up with all my friends. It's going to be like 48 hours. I'm not sleeping. It's going to be crazy. 4 days in, all the servers are dead. Oh man, this isn't like last Deadman mode, is it? Like, there's always that nostalgia that people have of previous iterations of the mode. And I think they're always looking at it through rose-tinted glasses, and they're never going to be, and including myself, really actually happy with the final product. I enjoyed the last Deadman mode, though. I enjoyed the last Deadman mode, and I enjoyed the iteration prior to that one. However, I was so fucking angry when I got to, obviously I was in the 1v1s. I'd swapped loads of money over as well. I was in round 3 of the 1v1s and I couldn't move.
Yeah, that is so upsetting.
Yeah. I was against a really good PKer as well called Grim from Kanini, if anyone watching knows him. So my chances of winning were obviously going to be quite low. He's very good, but
so you're kind of like happy in the moment. You're like, oh, thank God.
No, I didn't know it was Grim. It came down to the wire with the lag anyway, but I think it would have been a close fight regardless, but it wasn't like a free win or anything like that. Yeah. It would have been a really good fight, but the fact that I couldn't move and it was just awful.
God, that's just so, yeah. So what do you think? I probably agree with you. I've never personally done a Deadman mode. I played World 45 day 1, And
Yeah.
I quit within like 20 minutes because I died and lost my I think I had some tin ore from fucking Varrock mine, and then I died and lost everything. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, that's like how most of the player base react, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
all right, I'm done.
exactly. Yeah, I can't see. Genuinely, I remember that finishing, and I was on Discord with Casper, Perp, Casper's West Ham, sorry. Casper, Perp, EVscape, and a few others, Reese, and I said, that, I can guarantee you, is the last demo mode.
Wow.
And they all went, yeah, I kind of think you're right. So I'm not too sure. I don't think it will come back, but if it does, I think it will become like an annual or probably an annual event, which it has been for the last two anyway.
So do you think that they could just scrap Deadman mode, come out with something entirely new, and have it be great? Or like, I don't know. Like,
I mean, Deadman mode Reborn was like, I feel like even the title of it, like Deadman mode Reborn, it was kind of just felt like a last shot, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely did.
And then it didn't really go to plan. But again, being somebody that's primarily like my favorite part of the game is PK, and I'm gonna say I think I might have enjoyed Trailblazers more than Deadman mode, the last couple at least.
Yeah, I think that's been a fantastic fucking update. I haven't played a single leagues yet, but I might play League 3. Yeah. I do not enjoy the fact that I lose progress. I understand you get dragon trophies and rewards, but dude, playing something for over 2 months, oh my god, and then just having it wiped is just
I know. That's again, like I was saying, it goes against the grain of sort of the notion of RuneScape, which is like that steady progression, isn't it? But no, I mean, if you're able to look past it, I know you're a one account kind of operator.
That's me.
I would say give it a go. I didn't enjoy the first league. I played it for a day, didn't really enjoy it too much. But Trailblazer, the way that they implemented the relic system, the unlocks, the constant dopamine rushes every time you did a new task, it was just good. It was just good fun.
I need to definitely experience it. Honestly, it all depends on Nex. If Nex is fun after 2 weeks, really fun, I will probably skip leagues. But if it's anything like Nightmare, I'm gonna fucking hate it day one, and then I'll just play leagues.
Yeah, I think that Nex is gonna be an interesting one, actually, because I never did Nex previously when I played RuneScape. I remember you probably weren't. I think you'd quit, but you quit in 2007, right?
Oh yeah, I never experienced it. I'm literally going in completely blind, which I'm fucking excited for.
It was the only time I went to Nex was when they released insta-kill darts, and I think that's probably a lot of people that listen to this are going to go, fuck yeah, man, me too.
What the hell?
It was like,
why is that a thing? First of all, insta-kill darts, like why is that actually
it was I can't remember if it was like a membership loyalty reward or if it was part of the Squeal of Fortune or something. But basically everyone got these insta-kill darts, and I think you got 3 of them.
Oh my god.
So anything in RuneScape, you throw the dart at, well, it does what it says on the tin. It dies. So there were actually lines, like queues outside of Nex where people were going in and using their insta-kill darts.
I heard of this. I can't even remember who was talking about it. I had a guest on that was talking about that exact thing, that line of people. And then there would be a guy that cuts in and they both throw their insta-kill dart or something like that, and they both fucking waste it or something like.
Yeah, that's such a cunt move.
I was just laughing my ass off because you got fucking 3 of them, and some douchebag comes in and just ruins it for you.
Man, oh I remember I was in there. I had all these stories from people like, I got Pernix. And I'm like, that's going to be me. I remember one of the drops was just a shitload of unnoted brews. That's what I got. I couldn't even fucking bank them all.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think... So sorry, I'm talking for days, isn't it?
Here, one sec. Let me just ask. What would you think if they came out with let's just say tomorrow, everyone has 3 insta-kill darts in their fucking inventory or their bank.
Hilarious.
Like what would people? They must just go to Zuck, but like, how would that work? You insta-kill every fucking minion or what? Like,
I think. Yeah. So the way that insta-kill darts would have to work on Zuck would be that you just throw it and the cunt dies, right?
just throw it down the little like fucking pool of lava.
Oh man, imagine some dude rocks up with the insta-kill darts, throws it at Zuck, and the 4 healers pop up. Has to kill those.
God damn it.
No, I think most people would probably use it as Zuck. Where would I use it?
I'd probably use all 3 of mine at like a CM or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like the longest piece of content. That's all. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember I was doing solo no prep CMs on my Ironman, and the Tecton resets were just so taxing. Like, oh man.
Are.
Going in 2 zeros. Oh man, like no, I fucking hated the no. The worst is when you have such a clean run, like everything's gone so perfect. Like the hardest part about CM runs, what do you reckon to this? Is inventory management in storage.
Yeah, no, that literally always was my problem.
Yeah,
I had to do the 150 for Grandmaster and like that.
Yeah.
See, oh my god.
Like running through and making sure you're depositing and withdrawing all the right things for the right rooms.
Forget your fucking axe at meter dial, and you're just like, oh my god, like you got to run all the way back to that bank, or go kill 30 scavs because it's always 30 to get your axe.
What is that about?
I have no idea.
You have the perfect CM, right? You've gone through, everything's looking so good. You get to the big croc at the end, and it just kicks your fucking head in. What is the need for that, man?
Yeah. And it's funny because like people think that is like the god tier content. And I talk to high level PVMers and they say CMs is like end game. Like that's like where everyone, wants to go get their 2K cape. I'm like, fuck, I did not really enjoy these as much as you guys all seem to like them. I also got fucking shafted. All I got was paper. I got arcanes and dexes, no kits, no dust, no anything.
That sucks.
So
that sucks. Yeah. I decided that I did a few, and I really enjoyed. There's like certain parts of the CMs that I really did enjoy. Although it's the hardest part, I think, was like the inventory management and like the juggling between storage units and stuff. I think that the most fun part was like using different methods, like the redemption skip on tightrope and stuff. I thought was really cool.
That's fun.
Yeah. Stuff like that was cool. Like I enjoyed that shit a lot. But I was like, the Tecton skips were just giving me an aneurysm basically because I was using a bludgeon.
Yeah. Rip the Elder Maul you never got.
Yeah, because even though it might take longer, just like flinching it's just a bit more chill, isn't it? Rather than like running
around it.
Yeah. I think having those Tecton resets was what made me fall out of love with doing those. So I just went back to I went back to normal solos. But like I said, doing those for so long, I remember one time my Arim's robe skirt broke, so I was like, "Oh fuck it, I'm just gonna drop the I just drop in it anyway because it weighs a ton."
Yeah.
And I think I got a purple, and it was like I can't remember how many arcanes in a row, and I rage left the arcane. I left the
oh god
Arim's pants on the floor. So my Iron Man is I'm doing solo raids with like ancestral top, Avernic, Face Guard, Infernal Cape, Prims, and Mystic Row Bombs. Like,
yeah, Tebow and the Mystic Bottoms.
Yeah.
It's the way she goes. It's kind of weird because I feel like that's what a lot of people do. I miss the days where people would go to every piece of content and kind of like upgrade their gear really slowly. Go complete Barrows before you do Zulrah, basically, and then go to Zulrah and then go kill Shamans. But now it's just like fucking rush every high level thing you can do potentially.
Yeah, for real. It is like that.
Yeah. Which I'm kind of glad that Torva's getting, like, you have to use Bandos on Torva to make it Torva, because then at least it doesn't just completely skip the Bandos grind.
Yeah,
I know
that's
some
something
people,
that they've been really conscious about, isn't it?
Oh
Like
yeah.
making sure that other pieces of content don't become obsolete after they release a new best in slot.
Yeah.
What's I gonna say as well? That's kind of shit though, because I just alked my tacits on my Ironman. I did a did a
Why?
thing for did a thing for Christmas where I had to spin this wheel, and one of the options was like a random item alk.
God damn it.
And I landed on it 3 times. One time was a Carol's Coif. Oh no, sorry, I landed on it 4 times. How fucking unlucky is this? Okay, Carol's Coif, Dragon Warhammer, Tassets, and my buckler. And I've had so many bucklers because obviously I've soloed all the raids, but I drop trade them all over to my main.
Okay, so this is actually a question from Flomple, who was the previous guest on the Sae Bae cast. Have you regretted anything you've done for the stream, such as a bad haircut or item alk?
Okay. Oh man. Well, yeah. I kind of have regretted the recent item alks. Not massively, because I know that it's not the biggest deal. It's something that I can always go back to, and I'm in a position where I can probably get quite lucky with it as well.
Yeah.
I can do bandos pretty. I actually bandos, like flicking bandos, is one of the pieces of content I really enjoy. I don't enjoy killing lizardmen, obviously. Nobody does.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Dragon Warhammer is a bit of a hit for me, but getting my Potassets back might be a good laugh actually. And there are other methods now that exist that didn't exist when I did my bandos grind, like the is it 5-1 or 5-0 crossbow?
Dude, there's a 6-0 now that GE Challenge came out with like 2 days ago.
Bang.
You click the
go.
fucking altar and then you click the door. It's just like back and forth. It's weird.
What the fuck?
Like-
Okay, cool. 6-0 bandos. Let's get it going. So yeah, that's something that I'm not too bothered about. But bad haircut. At the moment, I've got bleached blonde hair with a bowl cut. That was good fun, actually. I don't mind doing stupid stuff like that because I know that a lot of other people get enjoyment out of it too.
Yeah. It looks good. I like it.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. Without sounding like the world's biggest prick, I don't actually think that my bleach blonde bowl cut looks that bad. And it was the first time that my fiance has come on my stream, phrasing, in a year and a half, maybe. She doesn't really like being on camera or being on my stream. But she came on and we played a Christmas drinking card game, and she doesn't drink either. So, it was good fun. And then we landed on the bowl cut, and she put a salad bowl over my head and shaved it.
Oh
So yeah, that was a lot of fun actually.
Hey, I kind of want to talk about you getting into streaming, because I feel like we kind of skipped over that pretty quickly. So just
Okay.
And especially like your thoughts on the way through it. So
Yeah.
let me ask, how was the first year of streaming for you? Like, run me through it and like your thoughts on it starting.
Yeah, my first year of streaming was never something that I intended to be a career in any way at all. It was just I did it for fun. I remember getting my partnership, and that was like, that was so cool. I remember I was actually in America with my dad at the time when I got my partnership. And we went out and celebrated with some drinks and a steak. That was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But it was just something that I did. You know, I'd do a few streams here and there every week, and I was at university when I got it as well. So it was never something that took priority for me. I was extremely inconsistent because I'd be like, we'll do this. You know, I'll do this. I need to write this essay. I'll sit and procrastinate, and I won't do the stream or the essay naturally. So it was just something that I didn't really take too seriously at all over the first year, but it was still, I feel like this might be a symptom of just the RuneScape community in general being extremely generous. But it was still, even then, like lucrative enough for me to go, this might be, something to do. And I remember I finished and I was like, I'm going to try and do another year of streaming and just focus on streaming. And if it proves to be, lucrative enough, then I'll continue it and see where my channel goes. And I kind of didn't expect it to actually happen, but it did. So
Crazy.
yeah, I know. It was just and now I don't know. Like streaming obviously has just become more popular. As a result, it's become more saturated, which I think makes it harder for a lot of people to get into now. So it was a good time that I got into it. I also think that Twitch's discoverability is pretty bad too.
For some people.
Yeah.
I think they actually do, like, clearly you can never make a perfect system, but I've found so many streamers just specifically through the recommended channels that they offer. So I'm like,
Okay,
they're doing
fair,
something
fair.
right, at least. Maybe not everything.
Yeah, I just compare it to like man, YouTube, you don't even have to subscribe to people on YouTube now. I swear to God, that algorithm knows you better than you know yourself.
Yeah.
I don't even go to my sub box. I let YouTube tell me what I want to watch.
Yeah, but it's crazy that, now you're a full-time streamer and like whoever goes into it thinking I'm going to become this, like it just kind of happens, right?
Yeah, exactly. And there's feel like there's sometimes like a bit of imposter syndrome as well there.
Yeah, there was
Sometimes...
a topic on it. I want to ask you about that. What are your
really?
thoughts on it?
Okay. Well, someone asked that.
Yeah, let me find it real quick. Actually, give him some credit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, here it is. So, Graxy Gluten says,
yeah, Grax. He's my G. He edits my videos.
Yeah, his second topic, he has 3 of them, but I guess he has 2. He says, would love to hear about the bad part about being a content creator, mental health, and imposter syndrome. Let's fucking go into it.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So imposter syndrome is never something that I know some people really like it. It can be pretty bad. Like it can be a horrible thing. But for me, it's never been anything that I would actually say that I specifically suffered from. It would be like short bursts of like, this is just fucking weird. It would be more like a reflective state where I can't comprehend that people want to sit and watch me, I'm just like, I'm this scrote in my boxers, like walking around my living room. Why the fuck does someone want to sit and watch me
and pay?
Yeah, sometimes I'm just like, what the fuck? Why? But that's like quickly thwarted by people just being super nice all the time. I don't know. I feel like, yeah. And being online, like because you're constantly scrutinized, right?
Yep.
I feel like you go through periods where it's just impossible to ignore people being cunts. I feel like I've dealt with that so much better now as well. But I'm sure you've experienced it where you could have like 100 people saying the most lovely thing to you, but the one guy that's like, your content's shit, you're ugly, and I hope you die. It's like, oh fuck, why, man?
Yeah.
But that kind of stuff it can be taxing sometimes, and I'd say that the worst part for me over the last year was a feeling of constantly having to defend myself. Like any decision that you make or anything that you do is scrutinized, and there's always going to be somebody that disagrees with it or thinks it's an imperfect way to do something, whether that's something that's important. And what really grinded me was the trivial things. It would be like people would be telling me that the way that my steak was put on my plate wasn't good, and it's just the most random shit, and it would be like, it's so trivial, and I don't know why it was getting to me, but there was a period where it was like, can you just all fucking shut up? You just wanted to just shut the fuck up. Man, I don't know. It was just like defending these really, really weird things that no one should ever care about, or there was no wrong or right way to do it. I went out for an anniversary meal with my fiance, and I had mashed potato with my steak. And my comment section, I posted a picture of our meal, And the comment section was just people fucking going, well, with this one guy going ape shit that I ordered mashed potato. And it was the worst variant of the potato. And I'm like, well, one, mashed potato is really good. And why the fuck do you care? And then it just turned into this shit show of people arguing about potato. I'm like, bro, like, what the fuck is
Supposed
going
to be a
on?
nice little post. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah. But that's, that's something that actually, you know, it sounds funny. And looking back on it, it's pretty funny. But I went through like a good few weeks, where I'd be streaming and shit like that would like just the most trivial things would be like the straws that broke all the camel's back. I'd find myself getting real worked up and grumpy and annoyed at stupid things. And that was probably, I don't know. I went for a pretty rough time last year, like mentally. So that would have probably been a byproduct of that. But well, it's getting a bit deep now, but I'm actually medicated for it now, which I've found a lot of success with, and it's made a massive positive impact on my life just day to day. So those sort of little things that would really bug me haven't been at all. So
hell yeah,
which has been
That's
nice.
good to hear.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, what do you think about like mental health in general for content creators? Like generally when people are getting into streaming, they're leaving a job that was probably like, I don't know, arguably sort of healthy to get up and have a routine and everything like that, get up and have to see people.
Yeah.
And then you just sit on your computer all fucking day. That's like the transition. So what did you see firsthand getting into streaming? And what did you do, if you don't mind me asking, before you started streaming?
So before I started streaming, I was at university. I was studying philosophy at the University of Birmingham. I think it was just towards the end of my second year that I started streaming. But like I said, I didn't prioritize streaming over that. I did continue with my studies and I graduated, and that was the point where I decided that I was going to give streaming a go, because it was, like I said, it was pretty lucrative in the first year.
Yeah.
And I'm still, you know, no one needs a degree to play RuneScape or stream or, you know, but I just think that having, because I saw one of the guy that hates me, that's been tweeting at me every single day for the last 2 months, said something about it. Like, ask him how he feels about wasting £2,700. But I just think that when you study anything really at university, it kind of shapes and molds you into who you are, you know? If you have like a passion for academic, for any sort of academia, it's going to change who you are and mold you as a person. And I think that me continuing my studies and continuing and graduating has probably had a pretty profound impact on how I communicate and how I talk with people, and the things that I'm able to talk about with people on stream, which in turn might have just had a big impact on my success streaming. I don't know. Obviously, there's no way of quantifying that, is there?
Yeah. Unless you could like go in the past and see differently, but yeah.
Exactly.
But I think any life experiences, especially things like that, like graduating from a university, is fucking huge
for sure, man. Obviously our tuition fees are high and stuff, and that guy was like, how does he feel about wasting 2,700? But I'd do it again every single time. I know it's fucking expensive, but I would do it every single time. I've never ever regret my education. I've never regret my choice to study philosophy either. It was something I was super and still am passionate about. So I'm really glad that I did and graduated.
Hell yeah.
What was the second part of the question? Sorry.
It was literally just talking about mental health and like the journey of just becoming, you know, full-time camped on your chair.
Yeah. I think so. It's something that, like, especially gaming, you're surrounded by a lot of people that suffer from a lot of mental health problems. that's obviously me included. And gaming for a lot of people becomes a form of escapism, right? So
Yeah.
it's like this sanctuary for escape. And when you've made a decision to sit in front of your PC and stream all day, you're maybe subject to the same kind of stuff, or being put into a routine that's arguably less healthy. You're not going out and socializing outdoors, which can be obviously pretty profound in terms of helping you be happy.
Yep.
But you're also surrounded by so many people that are suffering as well. I've never found that streaming has exacerbated my mental health problems, though. Sitting in front of a PC and talking to people, um, I enjoy the fuck out of. I love speaking to people in my chat, talking to them, just about everyday stuff, having deeper conversations with people privately. There are a lot of people that reach out to me regarding mental health, having just long conversations with them, helping. Obviously, I'm not in any way qualified to give specific medical advice regarding it, but just helping people get onto a track where they can make the right decisions and talk to the people that they need to talk to is something that's super important to me. I've had so many people reach out to me privately, and I've helped them. Like being, there's been time I've had people on Discord to me, and I've essentially become like a suicide hotline, which is something like there's just so many things that I've done streaming that I can look back on and be like, you know what, I'm proud of myself for that, and I'm glad that I made these decisions. It's something that I'm very passionate about, as you can tell, but I see a lot of posts from other streamers that I don't know that go viral that's like, streamers are not therapists, do not seek advice from us, or something like that. And to some extent I do agree with that, because it can be quite a difficult thing to be like, people like trauma dump on you and stuff like that. You'll be sat there having a good time, talking about X, Y, and Z, and then some guy comes in the chat and is like, "Yeah, my girlfriend broke up with me. I want to kill myself."
Yeah.
And it can get pretty dark pretty quick. But I'm glad that when that happens, I do take the time to talk to people, and I think that I've had a big impact on some people. And I know that there's one person at least that tells me quite often that I saved them and stuff. Like, so it's nice. And there's been other stuff as well. Like I'm obviously I'd never name names or anything like that. But there's been other people who have sought advice regarding like their sexuality and their family. Where they were in a situation where they had like a really religious family and they were terrified to come out as gay.
Yeah.
And we sat for hours and hours and hours and talked about it. And then I remember like a month later, they messaged me like, "Yo, I got the courage to tell my mum and dad, and they've fully accepted me into the family. Like I'd never thought this would be my life." Like,
Wow.
and that shit just, oh man,
That's
that's
awesome.
lovely. It's
Yeah.
incredible. But yeah, like I was saying, being in that position, I think it's important to use your platform as a means for good. And I know, I don't know, there's probably a lot of people that watch me and like I'm pretty offensive sometimes, and
Yeah.
but it's never done with an actual, like there's never actual malice there,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I probably do take it a bit far sometimes, like bantering people, and we're on stream all just fucking flaming each other sometimes, but there's never actual malice there. And
Yeah, it's all in good
it's
fun.
exactly, it's just nice to be in a position where I can use my platform as a means for good to help people that are vulnerable. Or yeah, I will say that there's been times for me where I've been going through like real dark patches and shit, and then I get like overwhelmed sometimes when people message me, and I'm like, oh man, I don't even know if I can read it because I'm in such a bad spot.
Damn.
But yeah,
Yeah, I think that's fucking beautiful that you notice, like, that you at least can, I don't know, notice that you are using your platform for good. And I
yeah,
think
thanks.
having that healthy banter and stuff isn't taking away anything from
Yeah.
the goodness of it. So,
Cheers, man.
he also asks earlier, thoughts on going into variety streaming, and when are you getting your third dog?
Okay. Right. Third dog? Nah. Okay, I love my dogs to pieces, but three, oh my God. When they play up and there's two of them, they're massive as well. It's a nightmare. I took them for a walk yesterday, and they're normally lovely on, like, obviously we go out every day. They're normally lovely on the walks. I let them both off. They have big runarounds around the fields. Yesterday, I don't know what got into them, but they both decided to just be the biggest dicks. They they were running off, not coming back when I was calling them. Their recall was terrible. That my German Shepherd Crollo would not come back on the lead. Every time he got close, he'd like jump back. It was like, oh, joking, and oh man, it was just a nightmare. And because obviously, I live in the UK, so it's raining like a third of the year. Having a clean house, like, man, hoovering like twice a day. Yeah, like I've just had I had the whole house painted and decorated, got two dogs, and my I swear to God, the amount of mud up my fucking walls is criminal.
Jesus. Oh
Like,
God.
you walk them and they go through everything muddy. Like, try putting on some nice clothes before you're about to go out. Like, you go downstairs, one of the motherfuckers has stood in something outside, and bang, you're changing your t-shirts.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
But no, I'm probably not going to get a third dog. I'm really happy with two. I think they're great together, and I enjoy having two dogs, not three. When am I going into variety streaming? This is something that I've actually been thinking about quite a lot regarding how I feel about RuneScape at the moment and being a little bit burnt. I've been enjoying a lot of the variety stuff that I was doing, and I did quite a lot of it through December, and I had a lot of positive feedback as well. So it was something that I was talking to my fiance Emily about. It's obviously a really daunting and scary thing to do, especially as I feel especially as a RuneScape streamer, because people that play RuneScape are typically play like RuneScape and like maybe one other game, right?
Yep.
Like, so that is quite a hardcore interest for them. So deviating from it can be pretty daunting, but it's something that I want to certainly experiment with over this year, maybe like 1 or 2 days a week, and then just see where it goes and see if it can be something that I do more often, which would be cool, because I do enjoy playing a lot of other games as well. But that being said, that's not me saying that I would want to deviate from RuneScape per se, because streaming RuneScape is fucking sick. It's a game where you can do such a variety of content that allows either absolute 100% concentration on the game, or almost no concentration on the game and absolute concentration on the chat. And there are very few games, I think, that offer that kind of diversity.
What do you think the best way to go about it is to switch to variety? Because I just have to say, becoming a RuneScape streamer, being known for that is almost like scary. It's almost scary to get too known for it, because then at that point, like, that's who you are. And you try
You sort of get trapped into maining the game, and play another game on stream, and I guarantee you could have played RuneScape for 6 hours, swap to another game, someone will be in your chat 5 minutes, and they go, "Have you quit, mate? Have you quit old school?"
Yeah, literally.
No.
I think somebody actually asked that when I was playing Raid Shadow Legends. I think it was unironic as well. He literally came and was like, "Did you quit?"
That's so good. I hope this podcast is sponsored by Raid, the most ambitious mobile RPG. But yeah, I think probably the best way to do the way I would want to do it, at least, would probably be to like just ease myself into it. Start with like one variety day where it's like a specifically scheduled thing each week, and then maybe increase that based on how fun and how well it's received.
I think you would do absolutely great as a variety streamer, because I don't know. I can see like myself watching your variety streams, and the only games I even watch nowadays are like, I mean, RuneScape, of course, and like
Yeah.
chess. Like that's
Yeah,
literally
I watch
it.
a hell of a lot of chess as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But
thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
if I really love a streamer or if, like I'm just really entertained by them, I would
Hmm.
watch them play anything.
Yeah.
But
No, I
obviously
feel
it
that. I
depends.
feel
It
that.
depends on the day. But yeah, I mean, I think you going into variety streaming would work out really well, and I think like easing into it would be the best way.
Thank you.
It is
You're
really, yeah. Well, I just
warming
gotta.
my fart.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm being dead genuine here. It's not because you're a guest on here. It's just like
Yeah.
seriously, I think you nail it. What does suck though is when you see a streamer that was successful playing RuneScape, and then they jump off the diving board into variety, and it just isn't working out, and you can just see they're just
Yeah.
it's just rough,
Yeah.
and that's just like the fucking nature of Twitch and like
Oh, yeah.
making it your job as if deviating is
Exactly.
fucking scary, like you said, daunting.
Oh man, it is. It's terrifying.
So,
I think I've actually at the moment I have not streamed for my god, when was my last stream? I think it's been a week.
damn.
Has it been? Yeah, I think it's been a week. And that's the longest I've ever taken off since being a full-time streamer.
Wow.
That's the longest I've not streamed for. And I think like even when I've been on holidays like and stuff, I've taken a laptop or done IRL streams and stuff like that. And I think that I don't know, I was saying today like I'm starting to get that feeling like I'm terrified now. Like I haven't streamed in a week. I've never done that before. I'm terrified now. All of these thoughts like, oh my god, my sub count's going to be rock bottom. I'm going to be irrelevant. You know, all of those things go through your head, and then I feel like doing this maybe is just a healthy thing anyway, because the very fact that I feel like that whenever I take 2 days off or 3 days off is an indicator of me having an unhealthy relationship with it as well.
Yeah.
Like if I feel like I can't even go on holiday with my family without having to stream, that's not very fucking good, is it?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've not been feeling it, and I just wanted to take some time off, especially after December, which was an absolute write-off, shall we say, because I was drinking a lot.
I literally, for those that are wondering, like I literally asked Elliot for a picture for the thumbnail of the Sae Bae cast. Just bring it up right here, and I was like, just give me a picture. I thought he was at home and he was just gonna find a nice professional picture. Takes a fucking picture of him at like some bar or something, just like straight up. That was the picture, and I'm like, let's use it.
Oh man, yeah.
I just wanted to make the tweet. I didn't mean to rush you so goddamn hard. But
well, I didn't know how urgent it was. I didn't want to sit there.
I just thought you were at home, so I'm like, oh, you know,
Nah.
just make it a little bit urgent. But yeah,
I know how fucking annoying it can be trying to chase people up over stuff, and I can be pretty bad for it myself. So.
Nah, you've been fucking great. Messaging you was fucking easy. I would get replies like instantaneously. It was nice. I've had guests where it's like I don't get a response for 5 days. I'm like, oh my god. So no, it's been excellent.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Shit. Let's see. I'm going through some Twitter topics. Okay. I don't know if I want to. There's so many meme questions. I swear to God. Okay,
Fire away.
Here's a good one. Annie Ellie asks, what career would you like to have pursued if not streaming? And what do you think your life would have been if you had never put on that first stream? I know it's kind of deep, but...
Oh, yeah. So this is something that I get asked a lot in my stream as well. And I often say that it's quite impossible to answer because of how long I've been streaming as well, and how many different avenues of not only opportunity, but interest that's opened. So it's like it becomes super hard to say like, oh, what would I have done? But there's like so many interests that I had before streaming that I was sort of toying with and not really too sure where I wanted to or what path I wanted to pursue. But this is probably a pretty strange one, and you might not have been expecting it. And I'm so fucking glad that this isn't me. But I was really passionate about about education in general. And I wanted at one point to go into politics, and with the end goal of being a driving force into basically redesigning the entire education system.
Wow.
That obviously that I know for a fucking fact that would never have happened. It doesn't matter how big or prolific of a figure you are in whatever political spectrum, you're never going to single-handedly be able to do something like that. But just what's the word I'm looking for? Redesigning is the wrong word. I'm reforming. Yeah, like the idea of like an educational reform that was more inclusive for people. Like focused on different means of testing that wasn't so sort of universal and restrictive for people that aren't able to learn in the same kind of way or capacity.
Yeah.
That was something that I was really passionate about. But now I just like fucking PK and like kill dragons and shit. But since then, like, fuck me, going into politics would probably be the worst fucking job I could imagine. Like, thinking about that now, like, god damn, I'm so glad I didn't pursue anything like that. I think now it's something totally different. There are actually a couple of things that I want to focus on this year that are totally separate from streaming that obviously I'm not going to go into, but they're specific like business ventures that I want to pursue. I'm focusing this year on trying to design, prototype, and potentially patent something, and just see where that leads as well. That's something that I want to do. So,
Hell yeah. Sounds
yeah,
exciting.
It is. It's quite daunting as well because you're starting from this is an idea that I have that's like you never know if it's going to succeed or fail.
Yeah.
You have to start from nowhere basically, like a little design, an idea, and it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of things to go through, but I want to do it, and I want to make sure that I get it done by the end of the year. Get the ball rolling with it at least, but. I think as well, like other things that I really, really fucking enjoy. If I were to work for somebody, I would want to do some sort of presenting, maybe in some capacity. I like the idea. I just like talking. I like to, as you can probably tell, because I don't shut the fuck up. I like talking. I like presenting stuff. I like public speaking. That kind of stuff interests me. I really enjoy it. Being in the context of like esports as well. Like when I did the Deadman mode stuff.
Yeah,
I
that was
didn't.
fucking sick.
Yeah. I enjoyed the casting. But I think my strengths would be more towards presenting or hosting. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just how I feel anyway.
Yeah.
There was actually a big opportunity. This is actually a regret that I had. So when I did cast for Jagex and Deadman Mode, I was doing all the events at ESL. And I've been a Counter-Strike player for a really, really long time. And I was asked by one of the people that worked for ESL if I had any interest casting other games because he would love to have me like regularly come down to the studio and work there. And I like he obviously knew my history in Counter-Strike, so I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. And I had a friend in CS that was like, he was like, just sick, and his knowledge of the game was incredible. We were both like, it sounds so cringe, but obviously like we're both global, like level 10 Faceit players or whatever. But he was just so infinitely more knowledgeable about the game, just in every capacity. And he had a good voice. He like when he spoke about things regarding the game, it was just interesting. And I was like, man, I would love to go and do that kind of work for them, but with my friend Alex.
Yeah.
And I asked him about it, and I was like, "Do you have any interest in this? I want to speak to Sam." And I didn't do it because I didn't have the confidence in my own ability to speak about the game in that kind of setting without him being with me. Even though I definitely 100% could have, right?
Yeah.
I just didn't have a belief in myself that I could, and I never pursued it. And that's one regret I've had since I've been streaming it. Like that's one like kind of career regret I've had, I'd say.
Yeah, those opportunities arise, and it is daunting in a way because like at the
Yeah.
same time, like you are like it's a new opportunity. You have no idea where it could go, but
Yeah.
like if it's not like exactly what you want, it's so hard to say yes to something and like be legally bound like in a contract. Just like
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know. It's scary. I feel like so, but yeah,
And there's some downsides as well to it, right? Like I'm a bit of I'm a bit of a homebody. I have 2 dogs as well, and obviously my fiance. And if I were to do something, if I decided to go down a career path at some point where I was presenting in like an esports setting, then I would be flying all over the place all the time.
yeah.
Like like I know people that do it, and they're so rarely at home. So
Would that be
it's
hard
cool,
for
but
her, or like
I think it
is
would be
just
harder for
hard
me.
for you? Okay, that's what I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's clearly a downside because I'm fucking homebodied as well. I fucking love being home, and if
Yeah.
I had to just travel all the time, like it would be exciting, but it would be exhausting. I feel like I wouldn't want to do it long term. Something short
Yeah,
term
for
though
sure.
would be cool.
Definitely. Like going, like flying out like maybe once every 2 months and doing like a week event. That would be pretty
Yeah,
cool. I'd be
yeah.
keen for that. But, when there's like pro leagues and stuff like that, where you'll be in like Malta for a month and stuff, it's like, and then like 2 weeks later, you've got to fly to Cologne for another event, like an Intel. Like, nah, too much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting like being a streamer now because I mean I don't want to get into too much detail or anything, but as soon as you have any sort of boss, like me, as soon as I have any sort
Mhm.
of boss or somebody that's telling me what to do, I instantly just
Yeah.
start fucking hating it. Like I'm like stop, like stop telling me what to do. God damn it, it's like
Yeah.
micromanaging. There is a way
Yeah.
to really manage well, and
Oh, for
I can
sure.
appreciate that. But yeah, when you get people that are like hounding you and telling you kind of what to do, it's like, oh my God. Then you really start to appreciate what you got.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Micromanaging. Oh, God. Yeah.
it's so bad. It's so fucking bad. And that experience, I'm not going to go into it. It was just recent, but like, then I think back to my old jobs before I started streaming, and I'm like, okay, I am very, very blessed right now. Let me fucking take advantage of what I have right now, because sometimes you kind of forget what you kind of have, and like you kind of start taking it for granted. At least I do.
Oh
And,
man,
yeah.
I it is so easy to take for granted, like especially when you've been doing it for such a long time.
Yeah. I think
God,
that little taste I had was like, okay,
yeah,
back on streaming, like this is way
That's-
better than anything else I could be.
that's probably why I've never taken this many days off in a row before, because the fucking fear of not doing it is so terrifying,
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever think? Well, here, let me ask you this. This is something I've asked a few guests, but when do you think this ends? Because this is such a new industry.
Oh man,
Streaming.
it is.
Like, does it end? Do you get to an age where people think you're a boomer, don't want to watch you? Because I don't know. Like,
I honestly don't. I don't think that you get to. I don't know. It's hard to say because a lot of people grow up together, and the demographic for RuneScape is a fairly it's an older demographic in terms of video gaming, right?
Yeah.
It's like sort of the mid-20s range.
Yep.
I don't know. It's really hard to say because you see a lot of people that stream that are super popular and they're older, and I don't know. I think that for a lot of people that streaming ends when they want a complete change of career. But that being said, I think it's because as a streamer, you're like you said a second ago, you're in such a privileged position to be able to do what you do,
Yep.
and in such a desired position as well. There are so many people that would love to play RuneScape all day, right, and get paid for it. It's a blessing. And lose it, I don't know, losing sight of it and being like, oh shit, holy fuck, like you mentioned, having someone micromanage you and you're like, holy fuck, I'm really lucky to be able to do this. But I feel like there must get to a point where it's like, I'm just so not happy doing this anymore. Even though it's so idealized as the best thing in the world, how could you possibly complain about playing a video game, reading a chat, and making money? You such a twat to do it, aren't you? Like, but yeah, I don't know. Like maybe we'll be sat there, wrinkles, crow's feet, the fucking grandkids on the lap. I've got the granddaughter running the laps. I'm making a Bloody Mary in the background.
See, I actually think, honestly, this game is so unique and niche that I can actually see in 20 years from now, the same fucking 40-year-old, like the 20-year-olds we have now are going to be getting to their 50s and we're still going to be doing the same thing. Like,
oh man.
Yeah, but there will be like some new thing, like where we're out of touch with it, but there's gonna be like some new thing where all the early 20-year-olds then are gonna be starting up and we're gonna be like, what? Like, what's this new shit? I'm not getting involved with that. And then we end up just being like the boomers that are still stuck on Twitch, like doing our thing. Just kind of like an old. It'll become like Facebook. Well. Facebook used to become like a young thing. Now it's just all these old people on it.
Yeah. So, can you imagine that? That probably will happen. I mean,
who knows? Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a little question from Flo, the UIM. He asks, tips for us new small creators breaking out and getting noticed. And he's also very excited for this cast. He thinks you're a solid guest.
Thank you, Flo. I appreciate that. That's very nice. This is a question for me that's quite difficult because I started streaming RuneScape so many years ago now when the category was nowhere near as saturated as it is now. So becoming noticed for me, I think, was quite easy in comparison to what it probably is now for a lot of people. Man, honestly, it's really hard. Like, I mean, I could just give the same kind of, copy paste answers. Be consistent. Make sure you have a schedule.
What is something that like was really unique to you? Like, what did you uniquely do that was different than different than the typical answers? I guess.
I think there's like a level of divisiveness around my character that you've probably seen as well. Like, yeah. I like to talk about anything. I like to tell stupid stories. I just basically I don't like to have a filter. And I think that maybe what made me stand out, if anything, would be just the level of things that I would talk about, the kind of stories that I would tell, the lack of shame or humiliation that I have. I'm not embarrassed about pretty much anything. So I can be as open and honest and as seemingly weird as I want without feeling any shame. And I'm just totally comfortable with doing that. And maybe that's why people like me. But it might, or is definitely another reason why a lot of people don't like me. But, each to their own. So, but yeah.
So just being yourself, just being who you are.
Yeah, don't try and be somebody else. It's just, yeah. And you can see when people do it.
That's got to be so hard for the long term. Just acting basically every time you go live. Oh my god, that'd be so exhausting.
Fuck that. And talk to other people and don't be afraid to ask for tips as well. Like if you're looking to go into like YouTube side of things rather than Twitch, there are so many sort of like tips and tricks into like hitting certain algorithms that, hey, shout out to Framed, by the way, because there are so many people that do that primarily do YouTube for RuneScape that have said, I would not be in this position if it weren't for Framed. Framed is the guy that helps pretty much everyone with that stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, apparently you know, I've not spoken to Framed about YouTube stuff, but he's supposed to be extremely helpful and is he's a good lad in the community. I have a lot of respect for Kevin. But yeah, don't be afraid to ask people for help, you know? Like, don't be afraid to say, yo, can you give me a hand with this? Can you give me some advice? Where do you think I've gone wrong? Where do you think I've gone right? Put in the hours, make sure that you are consistent, obviously. And also the idea that, like, people think that you need to be... People think that you need to be doing something crazy different to be recognized or popular. I don't think that's necessarily true. It probably helps. It definitely helps. But I think just being a moderately interesting person that has a passion for the game, talks to people well, doesn't alienate their viewers. Maybe I need to work on that a bit sometimes. Then yeah, I mean, and engage with people. Don't be afraid to use people as, like, you know, to get interactions. I get people do that all the time. Like, you know, it's fine. You know, talk to people that other creators that you like, and, you know, talk to them publicly and engage with them, and people will see you, and word of mouth, etc., etc., etc. Seems a little bit superficial and a little bit fake, but everyone fucking does it, right?
Yep. And then it all of a sudden becomes not fake. It's like, it's almost like who you are at that point.
Exactly. I say that everyone does it. I actually don't really do that because I don't really watch any streams other than, like, Counter-Strike esports.
Yeah. I'm like on the chess category like half a day. I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah,
I
bro,
should probably be
there.
like helping out my own homies, you know?
I'm talking to Chess Bra. Fucking love those guys. Do you watch Chess Bra?
Yeah, I tend to go to Daniel Naroditsky.
Okay, yeah.
I also watch Hikaru as well. But yeah. I watch Chess Brawl occasionally.
Hikaru's pretty intense, isn't he?
I love him because, like, I didn't like him at first. I'll be honest. I didn't like watching him, and then I think he started growing on me, and he is so different. Like, he's so unique, and his humor is so, like, weird. It's like you almost think he's being like, I don't know, almost like he's the butt of the joke, but no, he isn't. Like, he's like a 5 head, and he's actually above it, but you don't realize it because you're like, yeah, it's something weird, but I fucking love it.
I think that Hikaru has, like, an air of arrogance around him that is hilarious.
Yeah, and that's why I fucking love it.
So funny. He knows he's being so fucking arrogant, and he sits there, and you can tell by this stupid little micro grin that he does, and it makes me crease, man.
That's why I like it, because on top of everything, like, people tend to either love or absolutely fucking hate people that are really good at something.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
He's really fucking good at chess, and so he's gonna get that on both sides. People just absolutely hate him, or people love him. And oh my god, like, there's something about his arrogance though, but it's so good. Like, he just nails it, because clearly he's fucking good, and, like, there's no question about it. So I don't know. I just think the whole thing is funny.
I'm a big fan of him as well. I like some of my favorite chess content is, like, the when Chess Bra do the subscriber battles. And they sit there, and they'll do sometimes, like, drinking games of subscriber battles, and they'll sit there like, you know, taking shots when their subs lose, and then it eventually just gets more and more abusive at their own viewers. It's so fucking good. I love that shit.
Oh god. Yeah, there's something about, like, the chess world that's also, like, just very, like, prestigious and sort of mysterious in a way, because chess is like an unbeatable game in a way. You know?
It's not solved, is it?
Yeah. So it's just an unsolved game, and it's just cool when they start talking within the chess community of, like, the highest up grandmasters. It just seems like an entirely different world that I'm not familiar with, and it's so cool listening to and just hearing about these people that just fucking grind the game so hard, and it kind of relates to RuneScape a little bit. You hear of legends in the RuneScape category, like Exact and Wooks and stuff, and it's just cool to hear about these legends. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So
I would love to be a chess grandmaster. Unfortunately, I'm nowhere near a chess grandmaster.
Dude, can you imagine being a chess grandmaster and going to a park and just, like, dominating people?
Just the title is so fucking
Oh,
cool,
yeah.
isn't it?
It
Oh
is
yeah,
cool.
I'm a chess grandmaster. Sick. It's like the
Yeah,
closest thing you can get to a wizard.
literally. Okay, Frick, we're getting close to the end, so there's a couple things I want to ask you, but Frick has a topic regarding fitness.
Okay.
What was the most mentally challenging issue you dealt with on your fitness journey? And if you'd like to just go into your fitness journey a little bit, it'd be cool as well.
Yeah, so it's something that I've always been passionate about doing. And there was never really there's I don't know, there's never really been like a specific mental battle for me. It's always been like the hardest part is like wanting perfection, right? Like aesthetic perfection, getting to a point where you're like, I look good, and then going, well, I don't need the perfection anymore. And then always be like teetering on the, but you're never actually going to be 100% satisfied either, because you're always critiquing yourself and being your world's worst critic.
Yep.
Also, at the moment, I think that the biggest obstacle for me was I slipped a disc in my back.
Shit.
So that sucked. And it was not doing anything cool or heroic. I bet my missus that I would be able to outrun my cockapoo in a foot race, the dog, my parents' dog. And she was like, "You obviously can't run faster than the dog, Elliot. You're stupid." And I was like, "Well, watch this." So I had a race with my dog, and obviously I lost. And the dog ran in front of me. So I had to obviously either stop as fast as I could or run into the dog, and I wasn't going to run into the dog.
Yeah.
So I slammed on the proverbial brakes, and then I just felt something go in my back.
Fuck.
And yeah, so there's been times where like that's relapsed, and I've not been able to lift, and it's like just being like a mid-20s bloke that can't like go on runs and stuff.
That is
pretty
literally
demotivating.
awful, by the way. I feel so, like, honestly, whenever I'm not working out and I'm not being like healthy and stuff like that, I'm always like, dude, I am wasting this I am a perfectly healthy, like 20 or mid 20 dude. Like, I should be enjoying my body while I can. Like, I have no fucking issues with it. And then like when I'm just sitting playing all day, it's like, you gotta take these things like, I don't know. I take it for granted because something as little as like that just happened out of the blue. You know, all of a sudden one of your discs in your fucking back just fucked up, and it's just like you actually want to work out at this point, and you just can't. And then you're like, okay, like.
Yeah. It's really and especially doing other stuff. Like I do a lot of climbing and stuff like that, but not being able to do certain sporting activities. It's like, I mean, obviously, I know there's going to be there's other people with way worse injuries than me, but
yeah,
you know, a man with one arm isn't invalidated by a man with zero.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sometimes it can take a toll on me, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, I remember. Yeah, it just sucks, man. But as well, like there's also like two sides to this, because when you are somebody that goes, to the gym all the time, super obsessed with what you're eating, like everything I eat in my head, I'm counting the calories of. So like I'm always keeping like a mental track of what I'm eating, and I think that part of that was like a lot of it is due to like body dysmorphia. And some level of narcissism. But since I've been medicated and I'm barely any anxiety, you know what? I've had no motivation to fucking eat clean and work out. So now I'm not obsessed with how I look. Like, I'm just like, whatever, I won't go to the gym today. And before, that would be like, it would be like a mental fucking warfare going on in my head. Like, why the fuck haven't you gone to the gym today, you fat shit? Like, it would be so toxic. But
there's pros and cons to it all, because that toxicity and that mental shit that you have to deal with, it did keep you looking, good.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no winning, man. There's no perfect balance you'll ever get, but
exactly. Yeah, it's nice getting to a point where you think you're reasonably happy with it, and then just sort of cruising and smooth sailing. Don't try and chase perfection because it will just end up being shit. You're never going to find it. Sorry, that's oh my god, we're about to end and I've just ended on that. The most, the most like cynical breakaway ever.
I'm a little curious because, like, I have a little bit of body dysmorphia. I wouldn't say it's anything extreme, but I almost like wonder I feel like the majority of people have to have that, at least like in America or like any like developed country, you know, just like.
Man, 100%. Like the kind of images and stuff that you're subject to, you're being constantly compared to like the idea of perfection.
Yeah.
Like you're constantly the idea of perfection is packaged up, branded, and sold to you all the time, right?
Yep.
So yeah, it's just such a super common thing. I mean, yeah, I can imagine that a lot of people, probably the majority of people, suffer from at least some body dysmorphia or at some point in their life will.
Yeah, and it's a really weird thing when you really think about it, that you're actually looking at your body and then altering it in your mind.
Yeah,
like that is so fucked up. That's so weird to think that that's even a thing. But
yeah,
it must be pretty common.
It's even more weird when you're aware that it's happening.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I won't go to the gym for 2 days. I'll be like, I look like shit. Where's my muscle? I've lost it. And then, you know, next day I'll wake up, eat clean as fuck, have a massive workout, look at myself and be like, I look so good. I'm just like, what? Yeah, legit. What are you talking about, you dumbass? It's just, yeah, it's like being self-aware of those, of that sort of dysmorphia, but still like pandering to it as well. It's just
so weird.
Yeah,
it's so weird. Okay. For those listening, we do have Elliot is a little busy tonight, so I will be wrapping it up. But before we wrap up, I need to ask for 3 shout outs from you.
Okay.
And they don't have to be the top 3, as I've mentioned in almost every single cast. Just 3 that you think are deserving.
3 people that I think are deserving of a shout out.
Yeah. And why?
Okay. Let me think. Oh, I wasn't expecting this. Now I feel like I got a...
Again, I'm trying to ease it on you because it doesn't have to be the best 3. Just 3.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said to you before, I don't watch too much Twitch. When I am, I'm usually watching some sort of esport, usually Counter-Strike. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to say I'm a big fan, and I haven't watched her much, but when I did watch her, and I really hope she doesn't fucking hate me, because if she does, she's going to be like, oh my God. She kind of reminded me of like a woman version of me, and I really like Zoe Pancakes. She that's the most narcissistic thing as well, isn't it? Watch her because she's kind of like me. Zoe Pancakes is hilarious. I'm a big fan. She made me laugh a lot. I enjoyed her stream. Very, very good chat.
Yeah. She's a very... She is so unique. Like, there's no other streamer quite like her on the OSR's category. So
yeah, for sure.
I'll give her a shout out as well.
Yeah, I like Zoe. She's cool. I'm gonna have to say my boy Ron. Obviously, Ron plays games. He's one of my group Ironmen team members that is currently carrying the team whilst benefiting off of my rune arrow stacks that I constantly give him. And yeah, he's just, he's funny. Ron's a good laugh. You like Ron.
Yeah.
And I feel like I should give someone outside of my group as well, because if I give someone else inside, I could just easily be like Ron, Perp, and EVscape, couldn't I? That's so predictable. He doesn't need a shout out, but Goody.
Hell yeah.
On YouTube. Just sick
He's
videos.
Great.
They're so unique. The storytelling behind all of the operations that he does. He could make a video, do nothing, like tell a story about how he intended to do this game-breaking thing, fail, and I would still be happy. Like, the thing that he was intended to do could never happen, and I'd be like, well, that was good anyway.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Ronan. His content is incredible. I just wish that he'd upload more.
Yeah, That's the unfortunate thing is like when you truly have a YouTuber that just comes out with amazing content, it's always like not enough. It's just never enough, it feels like. Yeah. Okay. Well, Skiddler or Elliot, it flew by. 2 hours.
It did. It was
flew
good.
by. There's obviously much more we could talk about regarding the game, regarding streaming and stuff, but I think we left off at a nice point. So
Yeah.
I will have.
Thank you for having me on. It's been
was
really good, actually.
Thank you for coming on. We'll have your
No worries.
Twitch links in the description, Twitter. Do you have a YouTube, by the way?
I do. Yeah, I upload. Highlights to it that are so they're highlights with the illusion of not actually being a highlight.
Okay. So what do you mean?
Well, they're just stream highlights, but I mean, if you read the titles,
So it's not actually a highlight or what?
well, you read the title, incredible item upgrades on the group Ironman, and you think you're watching a progress video. You're not. You're watching a fucking highlight video of me drinking beer out of a shoe. You don't know you want to watch it, but you might actually want to watch it.
Hell yeah. Well, we'll have your YouTube linked as well then. Check it out.
Okay.
I'll subscribe as well. I didn't know you did YouTube, so.
Thank you.
Any other links that you'd like provided?
No, that's fine.
All right. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. Definitely it was a nice episode. I don't think we covered much about RuneScape and stuff, but it was just I think overall it was just good vibes, so I appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you again for having me on.
My pleasure. All right, guys. Next week, it is not set in stone, but I do plan to get Madaiza on sometime, Roydy on, and Behemoth on. So none of them are set in stone yet. I'm going to try to get them all set up. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Bye.